Someone is gonna have to explain to me how mid-table Chelsea have just absolutely slapped that turra on the desk and hijacked Morgan Rogers. Arsenal, I thought it was in the bag. I thought Morgan Rogers was a foregone Arsenal player. But hey, some things never change. Food chain is the food chain, and it looks like he will be coming to Chelsea. David Ornstein Bombini Bombizzle has dropped and a bid of £117 million for Morgan Rogers. Agreed between Villa, Chelsea, and the player wanted Chelsea over Arsenal. What can I say? Let's get it out of the way, though. I don't want to come out here and pretend like, oh, I'm over the moon about this signing. As a Chelsea fan, of course, I'm happy. I'm happy in the sense that we got a first team player who is going to come straight in, start in a system that looks like we're going to play and should provide results. But let's get it out of the way. The price is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. £117 million for Morgan Rogers. I know City just bought Anderson. I know Tottenham's spending like 90 million on Tonali and 80 something on a relegated Mateus Fernandez. The prices right now are insane. The market is absolutely inflated, overpriced, and I guess this is what you have to pay to play in the current market. It's a bit sad to see, I'm not going to lie, because for me, Morgan Rogers is not worth this amount of money. But if you take into account we're buying him from Villa, who, if you don't want to say direct rival, sure, but really they are a direct rival. We're usually competing with them for Champions League spots. We're buying them from Villa, who's a Premier League rival at this point. He's an English player, and he's going to already cost you in the ballpark of 80 million. That's a good amount of extra tax on top to get you to 117. I can see how this ended up happening. My main issue, though, if I'm being honest, is I don't really love the player. I have to be honest in saying that. I like Morgan Rogers. I think he's a good player. I think he had about 16, 17 GA for Villa in the league last year and got them to European places, which is what you want, Champions League football. What more can I say about that? We're down in the mid-table. We're not even playing Europe next year. But for me, he's a little too streaky, a little too inconsistent, and we're full of inconsistent players at Chelsea. So to bring in Morgan Rogers, is he a certified game changer? I hope so. He does do things that I like. Ball carrying being one of them, ball striking from distance being another. I like that. And in transition, a really good option. I like certain things that he does, especially if we're playing this 3-4-3 under Alonso, having them in 110, having Palmer in the other. He's right-footed, Palmer's left-footed. Palmer passes, he ball carries. Palmer's a little more creative. He wants to strike from distance. I mean, Palmer wants to strike too, but he's a bit better of a distance rocket shooter, you know what I'm saying? So I think there's an interesting complement that they have in their abilities. It could make it a good pairing if you also take into account they both have the Man City background, would have had chemistry from playing together back in those days. I get it. I can understand what the club is going for. But for me to pay this amount of money, you need to bring in a certified, like, guaranteed hit. For me, Morgan Rogers is likely still going to hit. He's likely still going to be a good player, but I don't know if it's that, you know, this is getting me out of my seat. Oh my goodness, we signed one of the best players in the world. And to be fair, at this point in time, 115, 120 million isn't even getting you the best players in the world anymore. So I can't really be that surprised. If you really wanted to go get one of the best players in the world, we probably have to dish out 200. And I don't know where that money's coming from because honestly, I don't even know where this 117 came from. We haven't even sold Enzo Fernandez, which was supposed to be the sale that gets us the funds to make moves this summer. Enzo seems like he might be staying. Seems like Alonso wants him to stay because Madrid, say, hey, we're good off that, which is kind of embarrassing. But now we have Enzo, Palmer, and then we have Caicedo. Sorry, not Enzo Palmer. We have Rogers, Palmer, and then we have Caicedo and Enzo behind them. in the center mid roles. It's interesting. I don't know what exactly that balance is what Alonso wants in this system, but it seems like he's out there fighting for it. So he must have a vision to make Enzo in a pivot work, despite Enzo wanting to be a player who gets forward. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But this does tell me, okay, Esteval, more of a rotation option. Quenda, he wants to play on the right too, from what I understand. So he's probably a wingback option. Maybe Neto, the left wingback option, and most importantly, Alejandro Garnacho is out the door very soon. I cannot wait.
Yeah, baby.
That's the most important thing for me. Do I love Morgan Rogers as a player? Not necessarily, if I'm being honest. I think he's good. He's good for Villa, and I think he'll be good for us too. I don't think he'll end up being one of the best players in the league under us, which is a bit unfortunate. But he's an automatic upgrade on Garnacho. See you later. Automatic upgrade on Gittins. Automatic upgrade. Who else? Mudryk, I think he was spotted in training and stuff. I don't know what's going on with him. Automatic upgrade on that. Pace Merchant. We could take that at least. At least we know we have someone who can come in and provide us with something. And it's something different that we didn't have already in the squad. I'm not mad at that. Maybe even set pieces provide us with a little something different from an attacking player. So Reece James doesn't have to be on every single set piece and then track him back if something goes wrong. I actually don't mind that. So, like I said, the price, not for me. The player, I'm a bit hesitant on, but now that he's a Chelsea player, I'm going to back him. I'm going to hope he comes in and does well. I'm going to hope that he's worth the price, because I could have said the same thing about Caicedo all those years ago. I mean, I was excited about Caicedo, but the price, I was like, oh, I don't know. But Caicedo has come in, and over time, he has proven that he's worth that money. Enzo, you could say the same thing about him. He's come in, and he's been a little bit more patchy than Caicedo, but no one can argue that Enzo did not have a good season last year. And he's having a decent World Cup right now as well. So clearly he's a talented player, even if he isn't the most consistent. And now Rogers, I'm going to have to hope we get something similar out of him to get us through the door. But really, I want to talk a little bit about Arsenal, because Arsenal, how did you let this happen? Premier League champions going for Morgan Rogers get usurped by mid-table Chelsea. I don't understand how in any world that happens. Chelsea don't even have European football, but we're able to bring in a Premier League proven player, which is also another thing I really like. Something that I've been seeing United do, and it helped them propel up the table, with signing an Mbeumo, signing Acuna, Premier League proven talent to come in and change their fortunes. We're doing similarly. Arsenal tried to do similarly. Here's one thing I will say though. I think we're low key, and let me know, Arsenal fans, what you think. I know some of you might be coping in the comments. I just want honest opinions. Let me know what you think about Morgan Rogers as an Arsenal signing. Because honestly, when I heard Morgan Rogers was going to Arsenal initially, and I thought that was going to be a done deal, I really wasn't too worried about that. I was more worried about Arsenal going to get a Rodrigo if he was healthy, or a Kvara if they tried to pull that off, Barcola even if I think Barcola and Morgan Rogers like similar level. But in terms of profile, I don't think Morgan Rogers is what Arsenal needed. For me, Morgan Rogers and Eberici Eze are redundant players. Even in the England squad, I never understood why Thomas Tuchel took Rogers and Eze. I know he loves Rogers, but then if you're taking Rogers, take a different profile than Eze. I never understood why they were both in the England squad, maybe as rotation for each other. But then there was a point where he played them together, and I was like, this doesn't even make sense. They want to be in the same spaces. Even if they play off the left, they want to drift inside. If they're inside, they want to maybe drift a little bit to the left, and they can come back in and take that shot. They both want to take shots from distance. They're both ball carriers. Neither of them are the most creative. I don't really understand Morgan Rogers and Eze on the same team, especially for Arsenal, who bought Eze last year. To go and spend even anything near this price, if they were to do that, it wouldn't make sense to me. So in a way, I feel like we low-key did Arsenal a favor going for Morgan Rogers, because he fits our intended system way better, and we low-key might have saved them from having redundant players in their squad. But I don't really like that, because if they go and get like a Barcola, then I'm like, okay, that actually I think is better for them. I don't know if he's going there though. He might be going to like Liverpool or something. I'm not sure, but I don't love this signing for Arsenal. So low key, you're welcome. Do I love it for Chelsea? Not really either, but I can't be mad at a big signing, because the way our window was going, it was not looking good. I know we signed the Palestra guy. I know we got Valentin Barco through the door, but really, we sold Santos. We don't have the center back depth that I want. I know, don't get me wrong. We have a lot of depth, too much center back depth, but not a lot of them are good players. So we really need, especially if we're playing the three at the back, we still need a really solid center back to come in and play this three at the back. And if we don't get that, I personally don't care about bringing in Morgan Rogers, because last year we were promised all this attacking talent that we got, Gittins, Garnacho, whatever, and it didn't matter, because at the back we were giving up silly goal after silly goal, and the season was a catastrophe because of that. At least, okay, we already know we got Kobo back. That's like a new signing in itself this season, but we need another one. If we're playing three at the back, we need another one. So I'm not gonna let this blind me and distract me from the fact that we need to go buy a proven center back. I don't want just to see, oh, Morgan Rogers, we're gonna paper over the cracks and keep it moving. Let's see if we can get that center back through the door. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Morgan Rogers to Chelsea. Whether you like it, whether you don't like it, I'm very curious, because it is a polarizing signing, a lot of money. I know the money itself is going to be a big talking point, but let me know down below. Do you think this signing will work out? What do you think this means for Arsenal? What do you think this means for Chelsea? Like, subscribe, all the good algorithm stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one. World Cup final tomorrow. Peace.